I want you to join me today as we look at what Jesus said versus what's being said today. Stick around because you might be surprised.
This is not a test.
Yeah.
Hello, Pastor Scotty, Salt Life Stars Ministry. Listen, there are those who will tell you that you don't have to keep the commandments of God. And obeying the laws of God is no longer required by the church, by the Christian, by the believer, by the child of God. But notice, you always have to obey your father's and your mother's rules. So that couldn't possibly be what Jesus meant. But notice what Jesus himself had to say about this ideal, about this philosophy, this theory, this theology that many hold, that we don't have to keep the commandments of God. When Jesus was asked what must be done to inherit eternal life, his answer was this. If you want to enter into life, he said, keep the commandments. Jesus listed several of the 10 commandments so there wouldn't be no confusion, so he could make things clear for us as to what he meant. He said, you shall not murder, you shall not commit adultery, you shall not steal, you shall not bear false witness, honor your father and your mother, and you shall love your neighbor as yourself. In fact, Jesus never taught men not to keep the commandments. It's the reverse. He taught men to keep the commandments. So where did this belief come from? Where did this philosophy, this theology come from? Well, one place I can tell you that it didn't come from, it did not derive or get its origin or its genesis from above. Therefore, it must be from below. In fact, Christ did all that his Father, our God, had commanded him. Jesus didn't have any other gods before God, and we shouldn't. He didn't commit adultery, and we shouldn't. He didn't use God's name in vain, and we shouldn't. He didn't bear false witness, and we shouldn't. He did not worship any images on heaven or earth, and we shouldn't. Also, he didn't commit murder, and we shouldn't. So I think by now, the picture is beginning to come a little bit clearer according to the scriptures, and not according to the traditions of men or the thinking and philosophies of man. Listen, side note. Keeping the commandments of God does not save us, but it is a byproduct. It is a fruit. It is evidence that we have been saved. Listen, the commandments of God have been removed and kicked out of the Supreme Court and even our lower courts. And we have even removed them from pulpits and from churches and from the lips of pastors, preachers, and teachers. And the reason they have been removed from these places that I just named is because they have been removed from the minds and the hearts of the people. Christ has been dethroned by many who claim to be subjects but are not subjected to him. But hey, what do I know? I'm not anybody. I'm just the people's pastor. Listen, do yourself a favor. Practice charity and establish regular prayer. And I guarantee you that God will turn your grave into a garden. Peace from the storehouse, and be blessed.